Welcome everyone to the Dragoon's Lair podcast. I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Daniel the Dragon, and with me once again, as per usual, the incomparable family man himself, James Haynes.
I'm out of the shell myself. How you doing?
Yo, so we are on a relatively interesting week, but for today's episode, we are going to be discussing part 1 of Stranger Things Season 5 for the final season.
Yes.
We're going to be discussing the last 2 episodes of Welcome to Deary.
Yo.
And we're going to be discussing it being Eddie.
Yep.
The Eddie Murphy documentary.
Eddie Murphy.
Yep. But right now, we want to say a couple of condolences out there. One is we recently found out we lost Kariyuki Tagawa, phenomenal actor who was Shang Tsung in the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Flawless victory.
No. And we also want to give our condolences to AJ Lee and CM Punk for the loss of their pet Larry.
Larry.
Yep, sorry.
I also want to give condolences to the man behind the Blues Brothers guitarist, Steve Cropper, 84 years old. Mm-hmm. God bless him. He had a beat on him.
Yeah,
and you could hear it in Soul Man.
Yeah, I know we're losing a lot of people and pets during the holidays, but 'tis the season. So
I know.
Well, here's the thing. I went and I don't really have a lot of anime news that's out just yet because I know we should be hopefully getting to somewhat of a wrap up for the new season because we'll be going into the winter season as of January. But right now, I will say I finally did get a chance to watch K-pop Demon Hunters. Don't clap for that one because I'm not as obsessed as everyone else.
Neither am I, but I had to watch it.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was fun, but the songs were catchy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it wasn't something that I was really drawn to. I will say that currently, though, the latest season of Spy Family and My Hero Academia have really been pulling on my heartstrings. It's been, especially for My Hero because it's their final season, so it's kind of gotten me a little emotional. I've been feeling a little verklempt.
Talk among yourselves.
Yeah, but no, so it's gotten me choked up because been on that ride with all of the characters throughout the manga, but also throughout all of the seasons and the movies. But there is one anime that I've been watching that I'm really enjoying is Let's Play, which it's kind of a slice of life gamer thing. It's very cute. There's nothing crazy about it. It's about people playing video games. So, and their anxieties and everything. Also, I've been enjoying the title alone is just ridiculous. It's my status as an assassin exceeds the heroes. Yeah, it's another one of those long titles. Yeah. So,
and in Japanese, it's that much.
No, it's still a long title either way, but it's definitely a good one. But at the same time, I love the animation style. The story, though, is an entire class gets isekai'd to another world. The one character who is basically an assassin classification, he pretty much is questioning things at the beginning and gets caught up in this whole other intrigue while the hero doesn't actually, from his class, doesn't line up with how strong his character is as an assassin. So, it pretty much tells you what the story is on its own, but it's a pretty good story for what it is. Now, we did have WWE did their War Games Survivor Series, which I honestly just kind of wish they'd go back to the traditional Survivor Series.
You mean what they had on SmackDown the night before?
Yeah.
The one match.
Yeah.
4-on-4.
Yep. Which I wish they would just go back to that one just because...
Oh, excuse me, it was 5-on-5.
5-on-5. But, less chance of people getting injured. And you know what? You can't have 2 War Games matches. You got the women's and you got the men's. And, you figure this pay-per-view is what? 4 matches in total?
At least 4 or 5 matches.
No, it was 4.
4?
4.
4?
Because you had
even though they were playing at a baseball field, it was 4?
Pretty much. But yeah, no. The women's War Games match was amazing.
It's guaranteed to have Io Sky and her trash can.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not a War Games match. It's just like, how did we say? It's not a pay-per-view until Ron Simmons comes out and says,
damn.
that's right.
But, no, the thing is, though, like, when really sitting there watching it, you know, the women's War Games match was incredible. The women had some amazing spots. Then you had John Cena taking on Dominic Mysterio, which, that was actually a fun match. But the best part of that entire match was the return of Liv Morgan. And then you had Nikki Bella versus Stephanie Vaquer, which there was no way Stephanie Vaquer was not walking away with that one. And it seemed a little slower. And I think that's more because of the fact that Nikki Bella's just not in her prime like she was before. She can still go in the ring, but not the same way.
Exactly.
And then you had the men's War Games match, which I was a little thrown off by some of the stuff that was going on in there. But there wasn't enough of a build-up, and it fell a little flat. So
yeah,
I kind of feel like they should just go back and do this alternate the years. Or do one match do the men's 5-on-5 traditional, and then have the women's War Games match, and then you can always switch it the next year and have the men's War Games match and the women get a 5-on-5 elimination. It's just, I think it would just work a little better than having everybody all on top of each other. Mm-hmm. Now, Jimmy, do you have anything that's coming out of the vault for you?
Yeah, I've been on since the 25th of November. First off, so everybody knows, there is a rule. It is called the wham it, which means please do not listen to Christmas music, because if you hear Last Christmas, you're out.
That's Whamageddon.
That's Whamageddon. And there's also Mariahism, which means if you hear it's All I Want for Christmas, that's it, you're out too. So far, I'm 1 out of 2. Because I had to watch Last Christmas, which is a good movie.
I'm on both. I got knocked out at the very beginning of the month.
I know. That's when I got knocked out.
You go to
what one?
You go to just an office, and it's playing. Someone's got it playing on the radio.
We don't. Thank God, we don't have that at our office and everything.
Yeah.
Ever tell them, shut that stuff off.
Yeah, but no, it's just it's one of those things where. Yeah, you know.
I've been watching Last Christmas. I watched it's a Christmas Carol, which has the late Carrie Fisher, and it's cute. I didn't realize it was on Tubi. It's a Hallmark movie where she plays not 1, not 2, not 3, but all 4 of the ghosts.
Yeah. Well,
and she haunts the girl, and it's too funny. And Carson Kressler's in it, and he's Carson Kressler's Carson Kressler and everything. You can't take that away from him, because his persona is fabulous. I was actually watching, and I realized that in about a 30-year period, William Frawley, a.k.a. Fred Mertz, is associated with 3 big franchises, which people don't realize. I watched him on Miracle on 34th Street, and I always forgot until I'm like, hey, wait a minute, that's Fred Mertz. That's 2. And then the last thing before he died, a lot of people forget, My 3 Sons was in black and white before it went to color. And he was the grandfather. It wasn't Uncle Charlie. It was Bub. And he was in that. So I was watching that. And I'm still finishing up. I keep forgetting that Arcani was a Santa Claus. And The Night They Saved Christmas with Paul Williams as an elf. It's an interesting move. Jacqueline Smith, Paul LaMatt are in it. And it's about how to save the North Pole, and because drillers are there for oil, and they're starting to implode on the North Pole, and it's like, no. So, plus, and a good thing to recommend that was on MeTV, if you get a shot, the Bugs Bunny Christmas. So I got a rule in the days. It's either I'm watching either the holiday specials or Food Network, a cartoon, or I'm catching up with one of the movies and everything. So plus, in that little wrap up will be, of course, the Bill Murray Christmas, which is funny.
You mean Scrooged?
No, that too. But Bill Murray, you never seen it on Netflix?
No.
Bill Murray Christmas. George Clooney's in it. The late David Johansen is in it. Maya Rudolph's in it. It's cute. Jason Schwartzman's in it. It's cute.
Well, you know, while we were distracted by a lot of other things, Amazon actually dropped The Mighty Nine.
That's right.
So they're already, I believe, about 5 episodes in, because the first week, they dropped 3 episodes in one day. So we will be discussing that at a later date. But I will say the only Christmas thing that I have watched recently, or actually at least started watching, was on Amazon, which is A Pagan Christmas.
Okay.
So it's a documentary style about the origins of Christmas that were stolen from the pagan traditions, which I think is actually really interesting, and I think people would find that to be somewhat
I think even
informative.
Adam Canover on Adam Ruins Everything, he might have even covered it, because he covered a bunch of stuff besides the. It's so everybody realized when they were a kid, how many times did you see It's a Wonderful Life on every channel? Like every other day, you had It's a Wonderful Life until NBC said, "We're stopping this. We're going to have it on this day and Christmas Eve." And then they had it on USA and E, so it's on 4 times. But they knocked it down. But unfortunately now,
A Christmas Story?
let's see. No. Hold off on that one yet. That'll be on 24 hours. That's not too bad.
Yes,
but
it
it's
is.
on 2 channels. But they got it to 2 channels now, which, all right. Calm the freak down.
It's too much.
You had 24 hours of Elf. You
That-
had 24 hours of... I don't mind Christmas Vacation, because you can watch Eddie going, the shitter was full a number amount of times. But Aunt Bethany doing the Pledge of Allegiance, how many times are you going to get up and down, up and down? But the funny thing I say about it, because like I said with Adam Canover, it's a Elf, Polar Express, Christmas Vacation are not fully licensed by Turner. So they're going between there and AMC and wherever else they can go. That's crazy.
Yeah, well.
So
listen,
it's flooding the gates.
Look, we just know we're going to get A Christmas Story for 24 hours off of 2 channels, which in all honesty, at this point, I think the best bet would be to do A Christmas Story and A Christmas Story.
Yes.
The sequel one for it. So, I mean, if they did that back to back, then it might
That
be a
would
little
be
bit
fine.
It might be a little bit better, but
Yes.
it's been very hard to tolerate A Christmas Story.
We triple dog dare you to do it.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about...
Let's get serious now.
Yeah, let's talk about Welcome to Deary.
Yes, serious? Yes, let's get down and dirty in this.
Now, my only complaint that I've had with Welcome to Deary is, especially after now just seeing the start of the final season of Stranger Things, is a little bit of a pacing issue. Because you get a little bit of the creepy stuff, but for the most part, it's pretty tame. And it's a little slow paced. But, I mean, the way they've been doing everything, mixing in with the Native Americans having the totems to be able to stop it from being able to get out of its little prison.
Yes.
The fact that the military is looking to try to even use it, to think that they could use it to control and actually stop wars.
Yeah, no.
That would not work. You're trying to get some primeval force to think you can control it. That sounds like the U.S. military would try to do something like that, where it doesn't make any sense. But the kids going, and it's like, this is like an earlier version of the Losers Club going in, and you're seeing like, there's a lot of now the manipulations that have been going in. So people aren't sure what's real, what isn't. The soldier, you figure the main, Hamlin went and he like offs his own wife from the visions.
Yeah.
It's not really her, but he can't trust
And
his own vision.
and he knocked his friend off.
Yep.
In the second episode.
Well,
But the first episode,
well, he knocked his friend off while they were in the sewers.
Yeah.
Because his friend was trying to stop him from.
shooting his son.
Yeah.
But let's go before that. We're talking about with this creepiness and everything. You know that Pennywise is around. His aura and everything is around. Is after they've watched the snail video with Peg going in with who's it, Lil, I believe.
Yeah, which we touched on that.
The eyes.
Yeah, we touched on that in the last episode.
Okay.
Because that was like, it was an amazing effect. Mm-hmm. But now that the kids actually went into the sewers they came out of this, we now know that the little area that they were able to get for the black officers is the Black Spot Club.
Yep.
And we're seeing the kids are having fun hanging out in there
Yeah.
and stuff. And then you got the little Colombian kid. He's playing.
He's playing drums.
Yeah, not Colombian.
Cuban.
He's Cuban.
Cuban.
Yeah, he's actually good on the drums.
They had to teach him.
Yeah.
I was watching the little vignettes afterwards.
Yeah, but the kid was good, and it's like, but you're seeing like now this actually kind of made me want to go back and watch Doctor Sleep, just because they're talking more dealing with The Shine and the characters from The Shining. It's like these are some elements that are mixing in that I'm actually liking how they're just telling more of the story and expanding on the universe.
And the jinxing of everything with Shawshank, because what happened to the bus? It got into an accident and he escaped.
Yeah.
Out of anybody, he escaped.
Yeah, but then
The father.
But it's like seeing how they changed up the story, that the nurse thinks that's her Pennywise is her father.
Oof.
She's
then I'm looking, I'm like, she looks familiar. Oh shoot, it's Madeline Stowe.
Yeah.
She looked pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, she looks good.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen her in something.
But the part is great for her. It's just so trippy.
Speaking of trippy, she gave those kids those things and they were tripping.
Oh yeah, the kids took
3.
Yeah, they took some Valium basically.
Oh God.
You don't give that stuff to kids.
No.
But the fact that they
give them Flintstone vitamins, not that.
No. You got to remember, the little girl even says, it's like, my mom pops these like if they were M&Ms.
Yep.
Oh, just not good.
No.
It's like, folks, remember, your kids see what you do. It's like the old anti-drug advertisement back in the 80s. It's like, who got you this stuff? Who taught you how to do this?
You didn't, Dad. You did.
I learned it from watching you, all right?
And always remember, folks, safety announcement. Valium is not candy.
No, it is not. Those kids...
Neither is Viagra.
The thing is, the kids didn't have any fear while they were in the sewer on it, but at the same time,
I know.
It's like, oh, you didn't have any fear. Well, guess what? You did, because you were looking at Pennywise as your lost friend.
Yep.
Who was trapped in the deadlights at this point.
He basically lured them in there.
Oh, yeah. He lured them in, got them to be able to go back in, but they all saw the same thing.
Yep.
So this is all the same ways that we've seen from the actual It movies, that he's been able to manipulate these kids, but now we're seeing a new crop of kids, and they don't know, they don't have the same thing.
No.
But the fact that they have the so-called knife, I want the knife. Mm-hmm. Like, so they have that pretty much
that weapon, yes, obsidian blade,
which that the Native Americans were using to keep him under control until they realized they needed to go get more parts of that obsidian star to go and trap him in there. The fact that the military is even thinking they're going to go in and they're going to take him.
No.
But you get to see, they're like really hitting the Black Spot Club moment, because I think this is going to be the point within upcoming where we're going to see like the people from Deary coming after the black soldiers in the black community that's there and burning the Black Spot Club to the ground. So this is definitely going to be one of those things where we're like, oh, tensions are going to be high in the next episode. But they kind of slowed things down. You really didn't see too much of Pennywise.
No.
But you did get what's the Scatman Crothers character's name from The Shining?
What is it, Ed or Phil or something like that?
No, the one with the Shining.
Hardison. Yeah, Hardison, I believe.
Yeah, you gotta have to look that one up.
Look it up.
But yeah, no, his character, like, knowing that he was trapping away like the bad memories and stuff in the box and like protecting himself, and now the box is open.
Oh yes.
So he's like really...
And he was not only that, when it was open with his grandparents.
Yeah.
And how he sees his grandfather shoot his grandmother, which was kind of freaky.
Yeah, but it's...
in a way. That was Dick Halloran.
Yeah, Halloran.
Because Halloran is, like you said, Scatman Crothers.
Yeah.
and everything.
from the original Shining.
Shining. Yep.
So we're getting like more in depth into the universe and stuff. So we're seeing more from the It franchise of the things that were talked about in the original It movies when they were looking back at the history of Pennywise, so to speak, because it really doesn't have a name. It's an entity, so calling it makes sense.
Yeah.
But we all know it as Pennywise as the standout. With seeing Pennywise frozen in fear because the obsidian blade being in the water right in front of the girl, and it stopped him where all the teeth
He's got the teeth right out. He looked like Alien.
Yeah.
He looked like Alien, basically.
Which, not sponsored, by the way, at all, but the mobile game Raid Shadow Legends,
yes,
they usually put out like some crazy characters.
They put out Predator and Alien. I know, I got it.
Alien's the one that you can get your hands on by playing every day.
Oh, yes.
Predator you got to pay for.
I know.
Which
I got Michelangelo and him in the same round.
Oh, I got Michelangelo, but I also have He-Man, Skeletor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've got.
I didn't get on those. I just started getting it to get points.
Yeah,
on stuff.
But it's definitely a fun game. But but back to it though. This was not sponsored, by the way. But it. Welcome to Deary. It's just the pacing issue of the horror, because we're not seeing the fear really. Like, it's not building up the tension as much.
It seems like they're trying. They're not They're trying to pace it to a series-wide, episode-wise, than how they have it in a full 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
So they basically took the 2.5 hour movie and just spread it out between all that.
To me, it feels like they've kind of lost a little bit of the tension that they had from like the movie versions. Even the made-for-TV one had a little more tension. Mm-hmm. So I mean, so far
it's still got attention, people's attention on Q and everything. So that's good.
Yeah. Now let's go and we can now compare it to Stranger Things season 5 part 1. Mm-hmm. They dropped 4 episodes the day before Thanksgiving at 8:00 at night.
Yeah.
And I was streaming it, and anybody could watch my reactions and everything on the Twitch channel.
If you forgot to give a reaction, you can email us at
dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com.
Right.
I would have done the hand gestures for anybody watching, but I pulled the muscle in my back, so
yeesh.
Yeah, and that was all from petting dogs. So on Thanksgiving, bending down to pet people's pets and everything, I needed to stretch beforehand. But but I sat there and I watched all 4 episodes, binged them on my Twitch stream, so everyone was able to watch the reaction. And if you're interested in knowing the Twitch page, it's Blue Dragoon 13, and you're able to watch it because not only did I do a watch along for Stranger Things, and I did it on TikTok as well. I didn't stay on TikTok as long because it was pretty slow. But I was watching it as well as I did WWE Survivor Series War Games on the Twitch channel. Now, if you went and you were watching Stranger Things, you needed to really watch seasons 1 and 2 over again before starting up with this. I made sure I did a full rewatch and watched 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, Jimmy, did you go back and rewatch anything before?
I just went in head on dry on this. I went right cold on this, but I knew what had been going on, and I had also seen a clip of the first 5 minutes, so I knew about it. Didn't say nothing and everything. So, and it just came in nice, and I just let it go. I just let it ride and everything. And also, by the way, special shout out to Midtown Comics on Fulton Street. For anybody that goes there that does do the sign where they keep their mouth shut, watch us, and you can message us on all our platforms. So this way you can talk instead of keeping quiet in the store. So thank you very much. No, they did that for that. Superman and Fantastic Four. So that's good.
Well, yeah.
Someone asked, why about Wicked? Wicked's been out on Broadway. Shut up and get out of here, kid. They told the kid.
Wicked, no, like,
For good. But
it's already been out. It's not like it's a movie that we haven't
Mm-hmm.
seen what the story is.
if you haven't seen the Broadway show, if you haven't seen anything afterwards,
Yeah.
But
Now, with Stranger Things, they did have the Broadway play
Yes.
that is supposed to be the prequel story to Vecna / Henry. The thing is that when it comes to it, the Duffer Brothers said you don't need to
I
really
agree.
sit down and watch it. So it's like they're putting stuff in that's going to be relevant. So that's going to work to its own benefit there. Now, out of these 4 episodes, I wanted more. Mm-hmm. They had the pacing down. I am so anxious and waiting because I don't want to have to sit and wait, knowing that Christmas Day were
3 episodes.
3 episodes. I had to look at the runtime count and found out that the last episode is for Christmas. Out of the 3 is like a little over 2 hours.
the last episode of Christmas.
On
Third or
Christmas Day, the 3rd.
Okay.
Because remember, they're dropping 3 on Christmas Day, and the final episode
Is New Year's Eve.
Yeah, which is about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I had to look up because I wanted to know the run times because it wasn't more. I didn't want to know any spoilers for what was going on. It was more how long are the episodes. And let me tell you, they came out with.
They came out guns and blazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
The change that they've done in Dustin, where now he's one of the only people still wearing a Hellfire Club
Yeah.
t-shirt. You can tell that the loss of Eddie really affected him.
It's still affecting him.
And he's not getting over it. But now, I swear, Steve works so many different jobs. It was like he started off as the guy you didn't like. You kind of started to like him. It's like then he goes and it's like he's working at the mall in the ice cream shop. Then he's got the video store job.
Yep.
Now him and Robin are now working where? The radio station. And it's like they're able to coordinate all their stuff through using the radio station because apparently the military is inside the Upside Down.
They're inside the town.
Yeah, in the Upside Down.
And the
version.
Upside Down, too. Because we meet the professor there who is...
Linda Hamilton.
Yep, part of the Terminator franchise itself, Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it was great to see her there because I think they needed, like, another, like, stronger character to bring this in. And she's an 80s icon. Let's face
they
it.
put it perfectly. Like you said, 80s icon. They keep bringing them in and everything, so...
Well, you figure this is Winona Ryder was an 80s icon and they revived her career.
Yes.
And
she didn't have to steal anything to do it. I know. Yes, yeah. I know. We all know about that.
Well, she had issues that caused that to happen, so I'm not going to be too hard on Winona Ryder for past.
No. We can't be kleptos on this one.
But the thing is, too, it's like she hasn't had any issues.
No.
So, if people change from what their past is, then more power to them.
Yep.
But if you continue to do the horrible things, then you don't get any leeway from us.
No.
But no, so, I mean, Hopper and Eleven going and training.
Yeah.
Hopper still being overprotective of Eleven.
I don't blame him. He's being a father.
Yeah, he's doing the thing. He's doing the right thing. But then it's like we're seeing Max is still in the hospital. But at the same time, it's like we now know Max her mind is trapped. Not in the Upside Down, but somewhere mixed in with like Vecna's.
Yeah. It's like the right side up, you could say. And it's like basically you have the normal world, the Upside Down, and where Max is with what he calls sister.
Yeah. Holly.
It's
kind of the Upside Down, but it's also like a section of the Upside Down that's like almost considering, Henry's father was portrayed as the older version by Robert Englund. So kind of a dream world, if you will.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's the thing. Max was able to see what some of the stuff that we would say have been in the Broadway production.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing a young Hopper, a young Joyce Byers, and you've got Henry Creel in high school. and apparently he has a thing for Bob's sister, which, we lost Sean Astin's character in season 2.
They were, and I know they were just saying, they were even saying it's like, why didn't you bring him back? And everything is like, they never asked me.
Yeah. But you know what? Who knows? We've still got 4 more episodes where who's to say we don't see him again?
Who say we don't see Eddie?
No. The Duffer Brothers said no to Eddie coming back.
That's what I've heard.
Because
they brought back, they asked about Joseph and everything.
There's been a lot of speculation and rumors, especially because anybody who knows the story for Dungeons and Dragons with the story of Vecna had a servant, Cass, who was a vampire and was given a blade from Vecna that could basically take out Vecna. And everybody's like, oh, well, Eddie was killed by all those little vampire bats, so maybe he'll come back as the upside down version of Cass. And it's like, please
no.
don't.
I think we know who that could be, and I call him now 000.
Well, listen, the Duffer Brothers are not doing a full Dungeons and Dragons thing. They use Dungeons and Dragons as a reference point,
which is great
due to the 80s satanic panic, which we're getting full on satanic panic madness going on, especially with the high school jocks coming after Dustin for wearing the Hellfire Club shirt. Those guys were all a bunch of dicks in the previous season. So it's the fact that they're still continuing even after they lost their leader.
Yeah.
And
not only that, you go, what the hell happened to you? I fell off my bike. Really?
Listen, Dustin's not trying to worry anybody.
No.
I am a little disappointed that we really haven't gotten anything of Susie for this season so far. I'm hoping
there'll be more.
Yeah, I'm
with
hoping
her.
She comes back to play a role, even if it's remotely, and they have to contact her using the radio waves and everything again.
Oh yes, Susie, Little Miss Never-Ending Story. But they also said because they haven't mentioned about her, but the Indian kid that was with them that traveled across country with them from the pizza place. Yeah, and he ain't coming back either.
Well,
they didn't offer him a renew his contract.
Well,
the Duffer Brothers.
Listen, the thing is, it's he's an extra character.
Yeah.
To have to try to, and he's got no connection to the town anyway.
No, just to them. Like Woody Cole does, because he had the chock full of nuts, everything, and then a soundproof room for the kids.
He was there. He's been there since season 2.
Yeah.
Because he was there to try to help find what's her name?
Who?
The one that went missing in season 1 that they.
Will?
No, not Will. The girl. Hey.
What? Not Haley. Not 7.
No.
I mean 11. Why'd I go 7? I'm running on Dunkin', everybody.
Oh God, not sponsored by
Dunkin'. Or 7-Eleven.
Although
we'll take sponsors from both of you.
Yes, we
and
will.
Spotify.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So he's been there since season 2.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So that any of the characters who've only had a one-time connection, doesn't really make sense to have them there. But Susie was at least in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? For all we know, the stoner probably went back to go and hook up with Susie's sister again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now, though, the pacing has been amazing for this season.
How they ended it was diabolically amazing.
Now, we don't want to give too many spoilers away.
No.
So, we're not going to...
But like I say, you have 1... You have 11. Basically, I call him 000 because I was like, holy shit, what did Vecna create?
Well, you got to remember something, though. We don't know what it is exactly, and we'll figure that out, and things are going to come to a head. But so far, I mean, I love what they've done with all the characters and everything.
They've kept up to what the end of it. They kept their end of the bargain, the Duffer Brothers. They haven't done anything on the sides or anything like that.
Well,
They've been staying straight on this.
We also haven't had an episode of Stranger Things since July of 2022.
That's true.
So,
and I know they were filming in 2023 because I was down there when they were filming.
But they also had the writer strike
and everything. Everything had to get pushed this way. And yeah. I know, believe me on that part. I know all that stuff.
And let's not forget, even after this is over, we won't be done with Stranger Things.
No.
Because there is the animated in-between season of seasons 2 and 3 that'll be coming out to Netflix. I think that one is like kind of scheduled for like the spring.
Good. So, maybe we can see Dustin at summer camp. Well, that's what it was between 2 and 3 with him, if you realize it.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens because it's like an extra adventure or whatever. So we'll see how this one all plays out. You know, but now let's move on to...
I just want to move on to your shirt a minute. Yeah. Everybody sees Dan's shirt, RoboCop.
They kind of can't really see it if you're listening.
Yes.
But yes, I'm wearing a RoboCop
His
t-shirt.
RoboCop shirt. You can see on Spotify and next week on YouTube video.
Yeah.
Detroit, after 15 years. Yes, after 15 years. I just seen this on a little news snippet. They finally put up the RoboCop statue in Detroit. And it looks just like that. Just him standing there.
Not surprised.
Not surprised, but I'm like...
Because what is it? Philly put up the statue of Rocky?
Yes.
So... You know, if there's an iconic movie character, I think they should have...
Philly has Rocky. They have RoboCop. And New York has Ralph Cramden in the bus depot on 34th Street. Hey. He bribed the dusk. Leave the honeymooners alone.
Which version?
The original.
Notice you have to say that.
I know, because you got that, the lost episodes, and then the color versions, which were like...
I meant the movie.
Oh, no. Leave Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason was comedy gold.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, we're gonna talk about Eddie Murphy.
And we go right into comedy gold.
So...
well, it depends how you look at it.
To each his own.
Yeah.
You know, I've been a fan of Eddie Murphy for a while, but at the same time, you know, sometimes I've liked some of his stuff, sometimes I haven't.
Yeah.
It's hit or miss.
Besides Pluto Nash, which was entirely a whole miss on its own.
Pluto Nash, Norbit,
Norbit was funny. Was stupidly funny.
No,
it was tacky, stupidly funny.
It was not.
But at least him in makeup was funny, though.
Now
you can't give that up.
Now,
how you doing,
Jimmy? You want to take the lead on this one?
Basically, it explains a boy from Brooklyn, where he started in Brooklyn, got his fame, and caught on camera with all his comedy and everything, auditioned for SNL, and where did it go from there? 48 Hours. You went to Beverly Hills Cop 2, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Trading Places in between. He basically paved the way for more black comedians and everything, writers. A lot of people don't realize Robert Townsend wrote for him. Keen Ivory Wayans wrote for him. A lot of people don't realize that they got their start from... He gave a lot of people starts. Harlem Nights, when he put that together after coming to America, where he had his buddy Arsenio in, and he brought Arsenio along with him, and that also, he brought in who he wanted to have, which was Pryor, Della Reese, Red Fox. And why do I bring up Red Fox? Because if you watch this, and please, we encourage you, because a lot of people didn't understand. Red Fox died bankrupt. Red Fox died with nothing. He paid for his funeral. Buckwheat, the character that he created, iconic, expanded on it on SNL, didn't have a tombstone. He gave him a tombstone. He paid for Richard Pryor's funeral and everything, and not his drug, but he paid for him because he was basically a role model for him. And a lot of people don't realize that he went with his serious roles, as you've seen in Dreamgirls, and there's a few others. He could go to make other streams of the spectrum on everything, and a lot of people ask, why don't you come back and do do stand up, and it's like, yeah, maybe I will, maybe I won't, and everything. I mean, you've watched his specials, Eddie Murphy Raw, Eddie Murphy, and everything live. I mean, it's amazing. You can't give that up. And the three funny things at the end of that movie where you see his gifts, which are too funny. Well, actually, it was a fourth gift he gave to everybody to dream about, which was the retractable roof. But he basically explained about himself and everything. He has a family and all, and he's doing what he's got to do. And he had a bad taste given to him with SNL. That's why he left. And having him come back for that episode, which was, what was that, 2021, 22, I believe?
Not sure.
And that was basically a homecoming. And it was amazing because he brought back a lot of his iconic characters, and it helped out the career, keeping him going and associated with SNL, which a lot of people forgot. And a lot of people think that he was one of, like, they used to do Aykroyd, Belushi, etc., like that as the starring. He was not part of the original starring cast. He was a backup second fiddle kind of character, like Adam Sandler was, David Spade, Rob Schneider, Tim Meadows. They were all second coming comedians and everything. That's how he was. So,
yeah, but the thing is, watching this one documentary, I have to say, was pretty much all, this is all great. Let's talk about how wonderful he is, how he's such a great guy. He's never done anything wrong in his entire career. And I think people forgot something. Now, kind of have it on the screen if you're watching, but there was the article back from 1997 where he was arrested for picking up a transvestite prostitute. Right. Now, they didn't touch any of the controversies, and I get that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, all you're doing is you are just glazing him, telling him how wonderful he is. And the thing is, it's like, he was on a career high. He had done, like, The Nutty Professor. Yeah. He had done Beverly Hills Cop. So he was already big. And he then made a mistake, got himself into trouble. And the thing is, this thing did not address any of it. And that, to me, was, I think, a missed opportunity. Because this was under 2 hours. If they would have addressed the issue where he could say, like, listen, we've all made mistakes, I did things. It's like, yes, he got divorced. And it's like, he's remarried. He's got his kids. He's a family man.
You also know that he has a kid with Scary Spice.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget about that.
But that's the thing, though. He's had the ability to recoup his career time and time again. Some people don't have that ability to do that. And if he would have addressed this, I think that would have actually helped a little more and made me enjoy this a little more, where, not to be salacious, but to own that you've made mistakes in the past. Because we've all made mistakes in the past. Yeah. And if you would go and you look at it and you say, you know what, I made a mistake and I've turned my life around, and him sitting there talking about how he did pay for Red Fox's funeral. Yep. He paid for Buckwheat to have his tombstone.
He paid for Richard Pryor.
Yeah, he's done this for a bunch of people, which is great.
But they still never touched
the controversy.
That controversy. It's like Hugh Grant, if you remember. Yeah. Hugh Grant did all Notting Hill and 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Yeah. And he also did the Baby movie, where Robin Williams is as the doctor. Next thing you know, he's getting caught in the bathroom with what he called Brown. Yeah. And then, but the thing was, he went on Jay Leno, and Jay Leno said, and everybody knows, of course, it got him the Emmy. What the hell were you thinking? But he explained, he apologized about himself doing it and everything. He knew he was wrong. Same thing close about Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson at that Super Bowl video with the halftime show. She's never allowed back. He's never allowed, but he apologized the week after at the Grammys. She never has. She never has apologized on that, but he did, because he knew he was wrong. and everything
But
on that issue.
But that's the
But
thing.
yeah,
When, like I said, when you show that you've taken ownership of you've done something wrong, you've apologized for it and everything, but when you go and you put out a documentary where it's only all this good stuff about you, you don't feel, he didn't feel real. There felt like there was a lack of humanity in the documentary.
I mean,
and that's because they didn't address the elephant in the room. And I was like, I had to look it up to make sure I just like was able to throw it up on the screen, because the thing was, he is an icon. He is legendary. People loved his stand-up comedy. They've loved the sketches that he's done, the character work. His acting is, he is so versatile that he can do so much. But you know what? You've made a mistake in the past.
Own up to it.
Yeah, and that's all that anyone's really even asking for, is be human. Don't sit there and act like you've been high and mighty this entire time. You mentioned you got a divorce. Gee, why did you get a divorce? You're not talking about the struggles of being a celebrity. You know, when you take
and what happened in between your divorce, that and your second marriage and everything, because like I said, he had another kid, but that's not being addressed.
No.
And that wasn't addressed. And they didn't even have her give her side either.
And that's the thing. This was an entire thing of just glazing over and like showing you how much love they have for Eddie Murphy. It really seemed like he was the one behind it, where it was like, I have final edit, so this isn't going to happen. So we're not going to see these things. That's why some of these documentary films can be really good, or they can be salacious, or they can give you an all-around honest look at things. And I honestly felt like this one was not like
it was great. It wasn't like the Candy one. Candy gave you everything and in between with him, because he showed every iconic thing in his life, happy, sad, and
John Candy. It's like he didn't live long enough to have like a major controversy or anything. Yeah. But he may never have had a controversy, even if he lived past the age that he did.
No, exactly. But the only controversy he would have had was being associated, as you remember in the documentary, he owned the Toronto Argonauts, the Canadian football team. Him, Wayne Gretzky, and a gentleman by the name of Bruce McNall. Bruce McNall and Gretzky are associated with the LA Kings in hockey. Bruce McNall got himself involved with a little controversy, and they had to sell some stuff, and Candy had been already passed, and they had to use, as they said, the estate. Imagine if he was there, he would like, I want to be out of here. I wouldn't have blamed him.
But that's the thing. He wasn't directly involved in
exactly.
The thing is, but he was human. They addressed the fact that he would be bothered when people would ask him about his weight. And for a big guy, he still could move. Unfortunately, that was a contributing factor to us losing him so early.
Yeah, because of his heart.
His career could have continued on if he would have taken a little bit better care of himself. But he was human. That documentary was not something where it was just glazing him and telling you how wonderful he was. It was like he would get upset with people, and that was something when you hear like people questioning him about his weight, that would make him seem human.
Yep.
Eddie Murphy doesn't seem as human. He seems like he's this pillar of the community. But the problem is, and I feel like they do this with certain celebrities, because Cosby's one of them, where we looked at Cosby for so long. He was America's TV's dad.
Meanwhile, look what's behind the door number one. Exactly.
But when you don't address certain things, you kind of end up where now you put someone too high on a pedestal. They're like, people can sit there and say, for Jason David Frank, the original Green Ranger, he had his demons.
Yeah.
We saw what happened when you watched Hollywood Demons.
Yeah.
And we know that he took his own life, but there were reasons behind it. There was a tragedy. His backstory. He felt human for the people that he affected.
Same thing with Corey Monteith. Corey Monteith had all these demons. I don't even know who that is. He was an Anglais. He had all these demons, and it came back to bite him in the ass. And he died.
Yeah.
He had all this crap on him, and they they took time because Glee. They even said Glee was even covered with demons and everything.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
There was plenty of issues
There was
with it.
and there was 3 deaths out of the deal.
Yep.
On it.
And a lot of people,
Yeah.
their careers didn't really go anywhere.
No, the only couple that went somewhere was Leah Michelle and Jane Lynch. And we all know Jane Lynch.
Not just that.
Oh, and Amber Riley. Chris, is doing a lot of his books now for kids.
Grant Gustin
And Grant
Melissa
Gustin.
Benoist. They were both on.
Oh yes, Supergirl and the Flash.
Exactly. So there were people that were able to
Darren
get.
Criss has gotten himself Golden Globes and Emmy Awards.
But that's
Correct.
the thing.
You're
You
right.
have to take a look as a whole. Mm-hmm. But if this is why I'm saying, like, I love Eddie Murphy. I don't want anyone to get anything wrong with this.
Yeah.
There are plenty of his movies I thoroughly enjoy. I love the Beverly Hills Cop movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not such a big fan of 48 Hours and Another 48 Hours.
Those are cute. You gotta
They're-
like the action
They're
and everything.
okay, but I think more I'm just not...
Coming to America is still
Oh.
iconic with him.
Even the second one was just as good.
Oh yeah.
But like 48 Hours, I think was more. My problem was more Nick Nolte. Mm-hmm. But it was like he's done so many good movies, but he's done so many crappy movies as well. And I love crappy movies, but this was not one of them where I was going to sit there and I'm like, this documentary was. I didn't feel as strongly as some of the other.
It was a Swiss cheese documentary.
Yeah.
It had holes in it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like it's the same way they did like the documentaries about because there was a couple of them as a series for American Gladiators.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of issues that happened there.
The Netflix one, I think, gave a decent amount of issues.
But the other one that came out for, I think it was like a different streaming platform, it was like, here's like what it was, but it was all fun and lighthearted. It didn't show that there was negative
This is what happened
repercussions.
behind it. Yeah.
And that's the thing, when you don't show the full scope. I think it's a decent documentary if you want to, if you're an Eddie Murphy fan and you want to just overlook a lot of things. He can at least make fun of his own movies where he knew. Like, he's like, I was a rocket ship. And the one thing I tell people whenever they want to ask, it's like, what's it like playing a rocket ship? Don't ever play a rocket ship. And I get it. But at the same time, it's like, address some of the other problems. I know he's like thrown himself into his religious beliefs and stuff, and he's cleaned up his act completely, so he doesn't do a lot of the crazier stuff anymore. That's why
and no one ever knows. See, I understand with somebody what they were doing when they were hanging around for 3 days with Rick James. Yes, I do know somebody on that, and she knows and everything. I'll give her the wink because I have the book, and we've heard the stories, but what were him, besides what Dave Chappelle made fun of, what were him and Rick James and Charlie doing?
Exactly. And there's a lot of stories that were untold. There's some fun stuff that we could have found out about, but we didn't hear about that because he went and kept it where it was all positive. And I'm not against a positive documentary about somebody.
Yeah.
But there has to be, because where's the story? Even in regular storytelling, there has to be a negative. There has to be something to overcome. And talking about the incident in 97, if he would have went and brought that up, didn't have to like go in depth, just address it and say like, this is when my career kind of took a little bit of a back burner and I needed to like reinvent myself, because he's been able to reinvent himself each decade. But the problem just tends to be, if you don't address it, you don't seem human.
I think that's also why even SNL never approached him back even earlier than that for any other hosting jobs. Because remember, he was doing, like you said, he did Come to America and everything. They didn't get him in everything. They didn't touch on any subject. No. Then he did Shrek. Did they get him for anyone after Shrek 1, 2, or even 3? No. Did they get him after Dreamgirls? No. And he was up for the Golden Globe.
Yeah, but
they didn't touch any one of those stories and everything. They got him finally down the line when he did Dolomite.
Yeah. But they waited till he was back doing something that was funny.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, listen, My Name is Dolomite, fun movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to sit there and look at everything that's going on, and it's like, address some of the issues. And I feel like that was the lacking part in that. Otherwise, as an interesting story about a guy's life, yeah, I'd watch it. But at the same time, knowing that they left parts out.
You'd be annoyed.
And that was part of my hesitation when you suggested us doing this, was I don't know if they're going to address some of the harder issues. And I think that one, care that he went and he picked up a transvestite prostitute back in the day. Listen, you do what you do. You have your fun, you experiment. Be you. Do you? You're not hurting anybody. You was consenting adults. But was it illegal at the time? Yes. But at the same time, you're not addressing it. I know he's addressed it in the past, but this is something in a documentary where your legacy is going to be all the movies and the shows, the comedy events, everything that he's done.
I think that's also why, that's also why the Academy didn't. A lot of people think that it was Pluto Nash that didn't get him that Oscar. I think that's what might have gotten him in trouble too.
Yeah, well, that was part of it.
Yeah.
Pluto Nash, Norbit, like.
Well, Norbit wasn't a bit too much on it.
No, but I'm just saying, there's like movies that he did after.
Yeah.
They were going to suffer from it no matter what.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. He suffered from doing it, but he didn't talk about overcoming any of the suffering from like making a mistake.
Because he did a movie afterwards, a drama where he's like this maintenance guy or something, and he's like a guardian angel to a family or something like that.
And listen, you can do like a ton of movies, and he has a long category of movies. But the problem just ends up being when you don't address the issue.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep going back to that because not for nothing, no matter how good and talented he is, he's made mistakes in life. We've all made mistakes.
Nick Nolte's like you said, Nick Nolte's made a mistake. We've seen that ugly mugshot picture. I laugh at it. I mean, let me tell you something. That's the iconic picture between him and Busey. You got to look at, okay, let's see their celebrity mugshot. Okay, let's see Paris Hilton. That's Paris Hilton's? Okay, let's go back to those. Let's go back to the other crappy one. Let's go see Pee Wee Herman's. But that was
Paul Rubens, his documentary addressed his stuff.
And that's HBO. Netflix just sugarcoated this a bit.
They glazed them. That's all it was. It was just glazing.
And it's surprising they're doing that. And meanwhile, they're going to let 50 Cent is doing the 4-part.
They've already put out,
Diddy.
Netflix already has like a Diddy documentary.
That's 50 Cent. That's the 50 Cent one. Because HBO has an entire, Discovery has their documentary.
But the thing is, I'm not like dying to watch that one because I don't want to watch something about somebody who did anything with kids. It's like, no, you did a bunch of stuff that was like really bad, really horrible.
You were stupid.
And the thing is, though, him slapping around Cassie, all these things he did. Diddy did it. We know he did it.
Did he do it?
He did.
He did it. He did it.
Diddy done did it.
Yep, that's all I'll say.
But the thing is, it's, Eddie Murphy has had this great career. And I feel like leaving certain elements out just because you're embarrassed about it, address it because there's going to be somebody who could learn a lesson from that. And even Charlie Sheen in his crazy 2-part thing,
you're right. He did miss a lot of stuff because if he addressed it, maybe 2 other people would have said, okay, let's talk. We'll give our input. And that was his father and Emilio. Ramon gave the more input, and his sister than the 2 of them. And they're 2 more iconic in society than him.
And that's the thing. Well, I didn't watch
I happen to watch.
So they have Renee Estevez is in there?
Renee Estevez does a little snippet in there.
Okay. But that's the thing. It's, you can't just glaze over the stuff.
No.
And when you gloss over the stuff, now you're just glazing, and it's like, it's all wonderful, it's all perfect. No, there are mistakes that happen in everyone's life.
Exactly.
Winona Ryder made a mistake, and look at her career now.
She made a mistake. Chaplin made a mistake. Arbuckle has made mistakes.
You know, you're going way back.
I know, I'm going way back.
But you're getting people that our
Some
audience
people
may not even know who they are.
They'll have to. I know. We'll have to have them Wikipedia and Google it.
Yeah, but
and email us at
dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Now, the thing is, though, like, no matter how in-depth you go, you have to address certain things. It may be uncomfortable for the subject, but it needed to. Netflix didn't go the opposite direction when they did the Mr. McMahon documentary series, but Eddie Murphy was just like, nope, can't touch this, can't talk about that. It made no sense. So my hesitation really was, is this going to be fair, or is this going to just be a glaze job? And that's exactly what it was. They just kept glazing him, telling like how wonderful he is. And you look at who is primarily speaking on there. You got Dave Chappelle,
Kevin Hart,
and
Chris Rock,
and Pete Davidson.
And yep.
So you've got 4 guys that were predominantly the ones talking, other than Eddie Murphy. They weren't there for a lot of the stuff.
No.
So they don't know.
I mean, Pete Davidson just did a movie with him. And everything.
But it's not the same thing.
No.
You know, yeah, he knows him. He was a fan of his, but it's not the same. So now, I don't want to like bring us down on a down note before we head out. So, Jimmy, is there any good news that you got that you'd like to talk about?
What, that I screwed up my hamstring running for the bus and learned now that I'm too old and it's shouldn't run for the bus?
I don't run for anything. I can't. I physically can't run.
No. Oh, no. I know, because who was the one that went and tossed you, Nuzzy, and Russell the copies of Indiana Jones when we all went for the complete series?
Yeah.
Yours truly.
Yeah, I can't run for shit.
No.
Nope. So, I mean, I can't run, but at the same time, you can definitely run. And if you have, this is something I have to say, if you have in your Spotify rewind, the wrap up, if you have the Dragoons Lair podcast as one of your top podcasts on there, please post it and tag us in it so we can see it on Dragoons Lair Official for the Instagram stories. You can post it on the Facebook group, which is Dragoons Lair Podcast.
Gee, I wonder what the name is.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so difficult.
It's like so difficult.
But no, you can definitely go, and I want to see anybody who has theirs, and the Dragoons Lair podcast is part of your podcast like library. I really want to know who's got us listed. So with that being said, Jimmy, you want to tell everyone how they can get in touch with you?
First off, Blue Sky, before I keep forgetting that, is James 925. I'm on Tubi still. We are family, and you can watch all 10 episodes on Tubi. Snapchat, all lowercase, James SI 0925. Man, I'm going by. This is what happens. You have a long day and everything. Instagram and Threads, James H _4th. James Haynes the 4th on Facebook, and TikTok. You have me at James 0925. All right. Special shout out to all my usual comic book Funko sellers and writers, guys. Give us a buzz, give us feedback, let us know what's going on. We'll push, you know that. We will push you on the show and everything. Tag us in all your posts and everything. We'll put it up. You want me to put it in your stories? Let me know. I have no problem. Lately, I mean, between putting up, as you've seen, between classic rock, what we grew up on TV with cartoons, the Muppets, and Robin Williams, I need some more stuff. Feed my Instagram stories more.
That's right. And it's easy to find me, Blue Dragoon 13. You can find me on Blue Sky, Blue Dragoon 13, TikTok, Blue Dragoon 13. You can find me on Twitch, Blue Dragoon 13. Not only that, but you can find Blue Dragoon 13 on Instagram, but you can sign up for the official Dragoons Lair podcast Instagram page and Threads account, which is Dragoons Lair Official. You can catch me on Threads as well, Blue Dragoon 13. We got the Facebook group, which is the Dragoon's Lair Podcast. Now you can check out the Dragoon's Lair Podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and on Audible. You can also catch my YouTube channel, Blue Dragoon 13, which will have the episodes of the Dragoon's Lair Podcast 1 week after they come out on the audio platforms. But if you can't wait to see our smiling faces, remember, we are on the video version first, is available on Spotify. So we want you to make sure you check that out. And not only that, but in every one of my socials, there is a link and you can join the Discord group. So make sure you join the Discord group, and maybe we can have a watch along party on the Discord group where you guys could watch the shows with me, not just watching on Twitch or on TikTok, but we can all try to watch everything at the same pace. So make sure you go and you check that out. Not only that, we can probably do some community events as well. Mm-hmm. Now, with the holidays approaching, I want to make sure that we have our priorities straight. And, you know, this is a time to open up your hearts and understand that we have people that are out there that are hungry. We have people that don't have a place to live. And I recommend doing food drives.
Toys for Tots.
You know, make sure that people have the necessities that they need. Donate old blankets, jackets, clothing,
coats, everything. Everybody knows that my two young ladies, and they'll be watching again. Just go to my link. If you got to really scroll down, you might have to hit that Amazon link for the Toys for Tots. And if you see something there that you like that's in your budget range, please put a toy under a kid's Christmas tree that hasn't had one. Please, that's all I ask for.
Yeah.
And everything.
Not only that, but this time of year can be very draining for a lot of people. So if you need, I would highly recommend reaching out, find a therapist, someone to talk to.
We got people.
Yeah. And if you want, and you just need to vent, you can shoot us an email at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. All one word, Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. And you know what? Maybe we'll be able to help you out through some of the holiday blues. The depression that can set in throughout the holidays is not good for anyone. No. So we want you to know you're not alone.
No.
You can make sure, reach out. There are plenty of services that will be able to keep you in the right mental frame of mind, because your mental health during the holidays is important.
It gets drained. And listen, if you get a shot and you feel alone, besides us, look, the ASPCA, all these North Shore Animal Leagues, they're still filled within the kennels and all their little in the cage for the cats, dogs, and everything. Get them homes too. All right? They need a home. They need love. You need love. They need love. Together, it works. Hey, I have a rescue fur baby. She's got her own Facebook page. You want it? Find us. I'll let you see what her and her 4 brothers do. Oh, yes. Which will remind you, don't clothe cats, because they will be repercussions. Just look on your floors. That's why I don't clothe Lily. And the reason why I have a ceramic Christmas tree. Because if you've watched the videos, you've seen the trees go from one end of the room to the other. Enough said. And with that in mind, Dan, would you mind?
You don't have to go home, folks, but you can.